Congressman, good to see you again.
Jason, good to be with you.
Let's start with that mid-air collision in D.C. We've watched for years as close calls have happened around the country. There was one in Austin with a Southwest Airlines plane not too long ago. What do you think needs to happen? Because we saw the worst of what could happen in D.C.
We have the best trained air traffic control in the world. I think that there will always be a need for more of them as the skies get more busy. So I think we will always look at staffing and finding a way to provide more money to provide an adequate number of staff in towers. But Washington Reagan has always been a busy airport based on its proximity to helicopter travel throughout the rivers of Washington, D.C. and the military bases around. But by and large, it's been a safe operating environment for many, many years, but I do see some things changing after this mishap.
And let's talk about those changes, because a lot of attention has been focused on the staff shortages, the long-time staff shortages for air traffic control towers. Do you think this incident in D.C. might get Congress to act and find a way to incentivize hiring for these air traffic controllers?
I think it will be less difficult than getting Congress to act. I think the FAA, under new leadership, a new administration, these are things that are going to be looked at throughout the government, that if there is understaffing at the FAA and ATC, then that will be addressed and can be addressed at the lowest level necessary. And I look forward to our new Secretary of Transportation doing just that.
This investigation by the NTSB is just now spinning up. What are you going to be watching for as a commercial airline pilot, as a member of Congress?
I would say that it's going to take some time for this investigation to come through. Traffic will travel as normal, but I think they will put some restrictions on in the meantime. But as I've said before, as an airline pilot and as a helicopter pilot, I flew 60s in the Navy, our Navy version of the Black Hawk. Yeah. We call it the Seahawk. Is that everybody's got an opinion on what occurred on this mishap, and none of those opinions are helpful to the investigation. It is a tragic day, and everybody's upset about it from the president on down, and our prayers go out to the families.
You think something might change, though, based on this, as most major airline disasters do cause change?
There will be procedures that will change with respect to concurrent commercial and helicopter travel at Reagan after this incident.
I want to ask you about this is one of the first real tests of the Trump administration. We heard the president the other day blaming DEI, the FAA, even blaming former President Biden for this. Do you think that had anything to do with what we saw?
I think everybody's upset about this because it shouldn't have happened, and they want to know why, and the immediate reactions show the level of emotion that most people have about this issue. So we're going to let the investigation play itself out.
Let's talk about some other politics here. You want Congress to reimburse Texas for the billions of dollars
that
it is spent to put state troopers and state guard on the border. You're a co-sponsor of this bill. Yes. With Congressman Crenshaw from Houston. This is called the Lone Star Act. Texas is asking for $11 billion for reimbursement. We've heard this before, though. Is Texas really going to see a dime of this?
I think that there's a real spirit of collaboration amongst all Texas Republicans in the House and the Senate, along with the governor, to include that. $11 billion in a federal spending bill is not that much, and this was a federal responsibility, and what we will do is hand back over some assets to the federal government that the Texas taxpayers have paid for. Texas taxpayers need property tax relief. They have spent the money on this, and they've done good work, and the governor and the legislature have done good work on helping to stanch the flow of fentanyl crossing our borders and illegal immigrants and terrorists crossing our border. So I think $11 billion has been on the books this bill has been on the books for several years, and I think there's a real spirit that, yes, I think we can do this now, and I think it's appropriate to ask.
What's it going to take this time to finally get it across the line?
I think it's going to be included on some spending bills going forward, and I think that most of us met or talked to the governor on the phone last week, so I think we're all geared up in a way that we haven't been before to address this issue and relieve taxpayers in Texas.
Congressman, you're the new co-chair of the Four Country Caucus in Congress. It's a bipartisan group that's going to collaborate on the military, veterans, and national security. On what issues do you think that you can provide some influence based on your 2 decades career in the military?
Well, thanks for asking about the Four Country Caucus. Somebody asked me the other day, which 4 countries? Well, it's FOR.
Right.
Four Country Caucus,
Sure.
40 veterans in Congress, in the House of Representatives.
Republicans and Democrats.
Republicans and Democrats. It's largely equal, all working together to be nonpartisan on making sure America is more safe, secure, and our veterans are taken care of. It will be bipartisan, but we like to address issues that are overwhelmingly supportive because of our expertise as veterans and military members to help the American public understand what is important to veterans. I'm taking over as co-chair for my friend Tony Gonzalez, who was the last Republican co-chair, and now I'll be a co-chair with Democrat Don Davis from North Carolina. Great people, all working collaboratively because in an era of division in this country, veterans come together, and if it's a nonpartisan issue, we're just getting going again, but if it's a nonpartisan issue that can help defense spending and our veterans, we'll go after it.
Thoughts on the new Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth?
I think he's done a phenomenal job, first off, addressing a catastrophic mishap in the water yesterday. He got on the camera himself. I don't remember the last time the last Secretary of Defense did that, and he's making it very clear that his goal is to make our military more lethal and effective in order to prevent war, but win it if necessary. I think he's doing a great job.
I want to ask you, with your military background, about President Trump saying we're going to take back the Panama Canal and he wants to pursue Greenland. Would you support military action for either of those, Congressman?
I think what you have to understand is, and we went through one administration of him saying things to get people to the table. That's what he does every time. It's the opening gambit, whether it's tariffs or providing for critical minerals from Greenland, or defending our Arctic border. That's what this is about, right? Because China and Russia are going after the Arctic. They are looking to mine it. They're looking to exploit it. They're looking to take it.
And same with the canal, too.
And same with the canal.
But nobody's going to give up real estate. No country's going to give up any real estate.
Everybody at this point, 100% of the world knows who Donald Trump is and how he negotiates. This is a negotiating point.
First bill signed by President Trump is one you supported, the Laken-Riley Act. It says that any undocumented immigrant accused of a crime was going to be handed over to ICE. I'm curious about this because there are a lot of Democrats who voted against it. And I'm thinking, why would they vote against this? But what would you tell a victim's family who still wants justice for what happened to their loved one, but might see an undocumented immigrant deported after committing a violent crime? Is that what would happen under this bill?
That's what would happen under this bill.
So if someone killed somebody, they wouldn't stand trial or they wouldn't go to prison for it, they'd be deported back to their country?
Well, I think that's a case-by-case basis. I'm not sure exactly what the legal ramifications are of it, other than to say some of these bills are used to make sure that everybody knows we're serious about protecting American citizens from illegal immigrants, and so we'll see where it goes from there.
We're 2 weeks into the Trump administration here. What are you watching for next?
I'm having a ball watching to see what happens next with our allies, with what happens with international security. Steve Witkoff, who was President Trump's envoy to the Middle East, has gotten a ceasefire with Hamas and hostages released. I think good. He's taken his promises very seriously. He's delivering on those, and I don't know what's next, but I do know that here's what's going to happen next in the House. Is we've got reconciliation to deal with. We've got fiscal year 25 spending to deal with, a CR that goes until March 14th, and then fiscal year 26 spending. So all of our energies are focused on getting those spending bills across the line so that we can continue to move forward. We've got to get these spending bills passed in order at 12. We haven't done that in 27 years. So there's a lot of work to do on a very, very short calendar.
Last question for you. President Trump froze spending, foreign spending, and a lot of domestic spending. He reversed the domestic spending. This is money that Congress set aside. What do you think about that?
I think he thinks like a CEO who takes over from a failed CEO, has to reorganize the company and said, I'll stop. Where's this money going? Is it necessary? Then we'll go from there. So it's going to be a back and forth with Congress on the money that has been stopped, been spent, and for the record, most people don't know what has been stopped and what hasn't been spent or continues to get spent, but he rescinded that order, so it's a notice, right? It's a notice that the days of old getting away with it and just all this money goes here and there and everywhere in a time of $36 trillion debt, those days have come to a halt. So we're going to identify every program and see if it's worthy of funding.
Congressman, thank you for the time.
Thanks, Jason. It's good to see you.